تقول لي ابدأ.
بسم الله.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. قال الله تعالى: سبحان الذي أسرى بعبده ليلا من المسجد الحرام إلى المسجد الأقصى الذي باركنا حوله لنريه من آياتنا إنه هو السميع البصير. إن شاء الله بإذن الله تعالى أتشرف بأن أقدم إن شاء الله محاضرة أو يعني كلمة عن رحلة الإسراء والمعراج للنبي صلى الله عليه وسلم، وهذه الكلمة ستكون باللغة الإنجليزية. سيقدمها لنا أخونا الأستاذ عبد الرحمن موسى. أستاذ عبد الرحمن موسى هو خريج شريعة وأيضا ثيرابيست. Hello everyone, it's a pleasure to introduce Ustaz Abdul Rahman Musa, who will inshallah go through us inshallah with a talk about رحلة الإسراء والمعراج, and inshallah we will talk about some inshallah implications and reflections about the climate, political climate that we are living currently, and inshallah the kalima is to you now, Ustaz Abdul Rahman. Barakallahu feekum.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على سيد المرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. يا ربي لك الحمد كما ينبغي لجلال وجهك وعظيم سلطانك. رضيت بالله ربا وبالإسلام دينا وبمحمد صلى الله عليه وسلم نبيا ورسولا. I'm content with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as my Lord, with Islam as my religion, and with the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ as the messenger sent to us and the final prophet. If any of the sisters want to come and sit at the back of the hall, they're free to do so. So if the brothers come forward a little bit, inshallah. And if the sisters want to come back to the back of the hall, the prayer hall, they're welcome to do so, inshallah. So this is a very, 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 very important and a very, very emotional incident that happened to the Prophet ﷺ. What we will explore together and what we'll find out together is how the Prophet ﷺ truly, truly, truly is the best of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's creation. The best of the best, with nothing in comparison. You will see how everything that was ever given to a prophet or to a messenger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Prophet was given more than that. Every accomplishment that any of the messengers ever did, the Prophet ﷺ did more than that. Any elevation, any estimation that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala esteemed them to any point, the Prophet ﷺ was esteemed higher and higher and higher. So Al-Isra wal-Mi'raj consists of two portions. Isra, that the Prophet ﷺ was taken to Al-Aqsa Mosque, and Al-Mi'raj, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala took Prophet Muhammad ﷺ up into the skies and into the heavens and spoke with him directly. So there's two parts, Al-Isra wal-Mi'raj. And there is a reason, of course, Allah does as He wills and as He decides. But there is a reason also why this happened and the timing of why it happened. Now I won't do this chronologically where we start with before and then go into Isra and Mi'raj. Let me start straight away with Isra and Mi'raj, or even the end elements of Al-Mi'raj, and work backwards, because then the context will make more sense. The Prophet ﷺ was in his room, and Jibreel came to him whilst he was lying down, and he opened him from just below the throat to the top of where the hair starts, navally. And he took his heart out. The Prophet ﷺ narrates this is what happened to him. He took his heart out, he washed it in Zamzam, and then he put it in a basin of gold, a golden basin. Inside of this basin was Iman, was faith. After washing the heart, he put from the faith that was in this golden bowl into the heart of the Prophet ﷺ. Hashaha, he put it in. Yahshu, he put it in. And then the heart was placed back into the Prophet ﷺ's chest, and it was closed up. Now when people heard about this before, they said, how can this happen? What is this? Hallucinations, nonsense. How can this happen? It doesn't make any sense. Scientifically invalid, blah, blah, blah. But we see this happening now. Jazakallah khair. We see this happening. Open heart surgery, and the person lives for years and years afterwards. So this is one of for us, it makes it easier to understand and to believe. But this is as easy to believe as it gets. After this, everything gets more and more and more and more strange. And things that are harder to believe begin to happen. And this is all from Allah does what He wills. Allah does as He chooses and as He wills. So then he was brought a ride. The Prophet ﷺ was given a ride. And this ride, he says, it is bigger than a mule and smaller than a horse. Bigger than a mule and smaller than a horse. And it had wings. And one of the Sahaba said, is this Al-Buraq? He said, this is Al-Buraq. The Prophet ﷺ rode Al-Buraq, got on top. And Al-Buraq started it wasn't happy being ridden. So he started to get, agitated and to kick. And Jibreel said to him, do you know who is on your back? There is no one greater than the man on your back. So he stopped. He stopped shaking. And he sweated profusely once he understood who this man was. So he started to move, and he was moving towards Al-Aqsa. And the Prophet ﷺ, he said, wherever I looked, that's where his hooves would go. So he was going at the speed of light. Al-Buraq. He was moving at the speed of light. Wherever I saw, that's where his hooves would land, his front hooves would land, and then he would see more and he would travel further. He went to Masjid al-Aqsa, he prayed 2 rak'ahs. All of the prophets were there. From Adam up until himself, all the prophets were there. He saw Musa praying. He was thin, he was tall, his hair was rowdy, like rough. He saw Isa alayhi praying, and he said that Urwa ibn Mas'ud looks like him very much. And he saw Ibrahim alayhi praying, and he said, the one who looks most like him is your friend, i.e. Muhammad alayhi. Then it was time to pray, and the Prophet alayhi led them. And they all prayed behind him. All of the prophets and all of the messengers prayed behind Prophet Muhammad alayhi. What is the significance of this? Prophet Muhammad ﷺ is the epitome. He is the peak. He is the khatam. He is the seal. He is the top of the top. That's it. It's finished with the Prophet ﷺ. And all of them, the best of which is Ibrahim behind them, all of them are praying behind him. The significance of this is Al-Aqsa belongs to Islam. And the people before us, they were all Muslims. It was Ibrahim that gave us that name. هو الذي سماكم المسلم. Yeah, he is the one that called you the submitters, the Muslims. And so that all of them allow or stand behind the Prophet ﷺ and he leads them, this means that this is the mosque of Islam. And now that the final messenger of Allah, the final messenger Muslim who comes, he is the one to lead. And that this place is always for the Muslims and is for no one else. Also, it means that whilst the Muslims are leading and are the guardians and custodians of this place, it means that they allow others to use it as well. And so you'll find that the Jews were living there for centuries. The Christians were living there for centuries. And never did they have as much peace and as much religious freedom as when the Muslims were there. Now the Christians, when they go there, they get spat at. They get thrown. I know a friend, he's not even a Christian, nothing. And as he was walking to go from the occupied areas to see what's happening in Gaza and the West Bank, etc., he walked past and they threw their excrement and their urine on him from on top of the balconies. Yeah. So this is the other option, Islam or this. This is the other option. So even for humanity, whether they believe in Islam or not, this is the other option. The only good option is when the Muslims ruled it. So the Prophet ﷺ, he said, as I was leaving, Jibreel said to me, "O Muhammad, this is Malik, the guardian of hellfire, the angel that guards hellfire. Give him salams." So the Prophet looked at him, and Malik started. He said, "Assalamu alayka ya Rasulullah, Assalamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi ya Rasulullah." And the Prophet replied. They left, and I left the mosque, and Jibreel came with a vase of milk and a vase of wine, and he offered me to drink. I chose the milk, and the Prophet ﷺ, he said, "You chose fitrah." What does fitrah mean? Fitrah means that which is natural, that which is good, that which hasn't been adulterated, that which hasn't been polluted, that which hasn't been mutilated. Because what is wine? Wine is that you take something beautiful, which is grapes, and you let it rot, and then you drink it. Is this pure? Is this natural? It's very unnatural. So the Prophet ﷺ chose the fitrah. Then we raised until we got to the end of the first sky, the sky of dunya, the sky that we're in right now, the end of it. I don't know if this means the sky or if it means the end of the galaxy or the end of what we can see. But the ulama have said that everything we can see and everything that we know is just the first sky. Everything is just the first sky. Those hundreds of billions of billions of billions of trillions of stars and black holes and unimaginable that we haven't even figured out, all of that is just the first sky. All of that is the first sky. If you can see it, if the light can travel with it and come back to you, it's the first sky. So know who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is and how much He is greater. Allahu Akbar. Allah is greater. How much He is greater, how much more powerful He is. So Jibreel knocked on his door to enter the first sky. And they said, "Who is this?" He said, "Jibreel." He said, "Who is with you?" He said, "Muhammad." They said, "Has he been sent?" He said, "Yes, he's been sent." He said, "Welcome, and welcome with the best of those that ever come." Like the best person that can ever come to you, we welcome him as well. So here, notice, they knew, everyone knows that Muhammad is coming. But they didn't know when, because they don't know the qadr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But they know that Muhammad is coming. Look how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is so proud of this man. They know that Muhammad is coming. And they can't believe that he's already been sent, because this is an amazing thing. Welcome. So he comes in, and he said, "As I got past the gates, I saw a man. He would look to his right and he would be joyful. He would look to his left and he would start crying. And to his right were many, many people, and to his left were many, many people. And I asked Jibreel, "Who is this?" He said, "This is your father Adam. Give him salams." He said, "Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh." He said, "Wa alaikum assalam. My righteous son and and the righteous prophet." And he said to Jibreel, "Who are these people to his right and to his left?" He said, "The people to the right are the people that were going to go to heaven from his children, because Adam was the first man, so he's our father ultimately. And every time he looks at them, he's very happy. And the people on the left, they're the ones that are going to go to hell. And every time he looks at them, he starts to cry." So then we were raised to the second sky, and Jibreel knocked. The same question was asked, "Who's this?" Jibreel. "Who's with you?" "Muhammad." "Has he been sent?" "Yes, he's been sent." "Welcome to you and to the best of who is sent." I saw two men. Jibreel said, "This is Isa, Jesus, and this is Yahya, John. Give them salam." He gave them salam. They replied salam, and they said, "Welcome to our most noble brother, our most noble and righteous brother, and to our most righteous of prophets." He replied, and they went up. Went to the third sky, knocked. "Who is it?" Same questions, I won't repeat. When he went through, he saw a man. He said, "Who is this?" He said, "This is Yusuf." We're on the third heaven now. He said, "This is Yusuf." He said, "I looked at Yusuf and I saw that this man had been given all of beauty. He was so handsome. He was so handsome." He said, "Give him salam." I gave him salam. He replied salam. He said, my righteous brother and and righteous prophet." We raised up, knocked on the fourth, asked the same questions. They went through. I saw a man. Jibreel said, "This is Idris." give him salams. I gave him salams. He replied, and he said, righteous brother and righteous prophet, welcome. Raised to the fifth sky. Same questions, who is this? I entered and I saw a man. Jibreel said, this is Harun. Harun is the brother of Moses, alayhi salam. Give him salam. He replied with exactly the same reply, my brother and righteous prophet. Then we raised to the sixth sky. And same thing, who is this? They went in and I saw a man. This is Musa. Give him salams. He gave him salam. He replied, he says, welcome to my righteous brother and the righteous prophet. Then as they left, they came to go, Prophet Musa started to cry. So they turned around and they said, why are you crying? He said, because my nation, the numbers of people that will go to heaven from my nations are the most, except for your nation. He started to cry because his nation would be outnumbered by the nation of the Prophet ﷺ. And then they were raised up to the seventh heaven. Same questions. They went in. This is Ibrahim, your father. Give him salams. He replied and he said, welcome to my righteous son and righteous prophet. And then in Tirmidhi reports, narrates that Sayyidina Ibrahim, he says to Prophet Muhammad, he gives him advice. Give your nation my salam. And tell them that Jannah is beautiful in soil and fresh and crisp in water. And it's very, very easy. Easy means it doesn't have many slopes. You don't get tired traveling Jannah. And the way to plant in Jannah and to own Jannah is that you say Subhanallah, Alhamdulillah, La ilaha illallah, Wallahu Akbar. Now, why did he meet these extra prophets when he already met them in Al-Aqsa? He already met them in Al-Aqsa. Why did he meet them again? And why these particular prophets? One of the ulama, particularly he was Maliki, he was Andalusi and from Marrakesh, Moroccan. He said, because each of these prophets, the Prophet ﷺ will go through what they went through, or he already went through what they went through. So Allah wants them to give him salam so that he knows that he will go through what they went through, and that they know that he will go through what they went through. Adam was expelled from Jannah, and Muhammad will be expelled, ﷺ, from Mecca. Both will be expelled from their homes. Isa and Yahya were given hell on earth by the Jews. Hell on earth by the Jews, not just the Palestinians. And Yahya was even killed. And they will attempt to kill the Prophet ﷺ. They will attempt to kill him by taking a massive boulder or a massive rock and throwing on top from above the roof on him when he was sitting down in a meeting. And they will attempt to poison him with meat. And he will suffer from that poison. It will affect him until the day that he dies. Yusuf was wronged by his brothers. He was betrayed by his own brothers. And Muhammad ﷺ will be betrayed by his own people. And Yusuf forgave his brothers when he reached a position of power. And Muhammad ﷺ will forgive his people when he goes back into Mecca and he is in a position of power. Idris ﷺ was elevated to the fourth heaven in his life. In his life, he was elevated to the fourth heaven. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he said to Malik, Malik al-Maut, Israel, he said to Israel, yes, he said to him that take Idris's life on the fourth heaven. And he said, how is he going to get to the fourth heaven? How am I going to do this? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, do what you have been ordered to do. Now, Idris was friends with an angel, and the angel would take him and come and go. And he asked once that angel, I want to see the heavens. So the angel took permission from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he took him to the fourth heaven. On the fourth heaven, they meet the angel of death. And the angel of death says, is Idris here? He goes, he's here. He goes, why? He goes, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told me to take his soul in the fourth heaven, and I didn't know how I was going to do it. And now I know. He brought him to me. So this is Idris. وَرَفَعْنَاهُ, yeah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, we elevated him to a very high level, the fourth heaven. Also Idris, it is said that he is the first prophet to make armies for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The first to make an army to fight against evil, to fight against corruption, and to fight for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the Prophet ﷺ will do the same when he goes to Medina. Harun used to be loved by his people very much. And the Prophet ﷺ will be loved by the Arabs and by the Muslims and by إِنَّ شَانِئَكَ هُوَ الْأَبْتَرُ. The name Muhammad now is the most widespread. So he will also be loved. Musa cured the aqidah and the ills of his nation, and the Prophet ﷺ did the same. Musa went to meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, correct? But it was, from Musa's perspective, he stumbled upon him. And let me go see that fire, and then, oh, it's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaking to me on top of the mount. Take off your shoes. What's that in your hand? Yeah, he didn't know he was going there. The Prophet ﷺ was chauffeured to meet Allah. And Musa talked to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala twice. That time and afterwards, after they left Egypt. The Prophet ﷺ, when you see now, he's going to go up and down, meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala 5 times. He's going to come down, he's going to be sent back up, as you'll see now. And Ibrahim raised the foundations of the Kaaba, and Muhammad will make the Kaaba the pure and a place of worship forever. So there are parallels with them all. Now he didn't meet Sulaiman, but for example, Sulaiman asked that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives him a wealth that is unbefitting for anyone after him. Give him wealth that is unbefitting for anyone after him. Sulaiman asked, and Allah gave him. The Prophet ﷺ did not ask, but Jibreel was sent to him and he said, Allah has told me that I can give you the keys of dunya and eternal life. You see? So what Sulaiman was given, the Prophet ﷺ was given more, but the Prophet didn't want it. He preferred to go back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. No one is better than the Prophet ﷺ. Then the Prophet was raised to the tree of the end, Sidrat al-Muntaha. Sidra is a tree, and this is a tree that makes a fruit called jujubi or jujub fruit, nabiq in Arabic. It's like small apple, like it's sweet, and some of them are so nice that when you eat it, it smells of musk, and you smell of musk when you eat it. Just like if you eat garlic, praying next to that guy who's at garlic before you, he smells of garlic, his clothes smells of garlic, his feet smell of garlic. This is the opposite. So he was sent to Sidrat al-Muntaha, and he said, I saw lights around this tree, I cannot explain to you the colors. And then Allah covered it with His command. Allah commanded it, and the command covered this tree. And then it changed, and what I saw, no one from creation can describe. No one from creation can describe. What happened? Its fruit was massive, and its leaves were as big as elephant ears. In its root were 4 rivers. 2 can be seen, and 2 were underneath them. I asked Jibreel, what are these rivers? He said, the 2 that you see go to the Nile and to Furat in Iraq. The Nile is in Egypt, the Furat is in Iraq, and the 2 underneath are from the heaven, go all the way into the heavens. Then I was raised to the established house, Al-Bayt al-Ma'mur, where every single day 70,000 angels pray, and they never return. So imagine from the day the Prophet ﷺ went there till now, how many days is that? How many angels went to this place and prayed? And what about before the Prophet? What about since the beginning of when the angels were created? When Jibreel was created, he made sujood, I think, for 120,000 years. He did 2 rak'ahs that lasted for 120,000 years. And when he finished, he said, Ya Allah, has anyone ever prayed to you for that long and worshipped you for that long? He said, no, but there will come a time I will create beings that their prayer will be more beloved to me than yours. Because they have themselves to contend with, and they have pressures from here and pressures from there. He's talking about the humans. And this is just the angels who pray. What about the angels who pray elsewhere? Or maybe they don't go to this mosque, this bayt. So this is for us to know the magnitude of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَمَا قَدَرُ اللَّهَ حَقَّ قَدْرِهِ والأرض جميعا قبضته يوم القيامة والسماوات مطويات بيمينه سبحانه وتعالى عما يشركون. On the day of judgment, all of the earth and all of the heavens, everything I've just described, will be in his right hand, squashed. Yeah, that's, I mean, look at the magnificence, the size, the greatness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then again, I was brought a vase of wine, honey and wine. Honey, wine, milk, honey, wine. And I was told, choose. Again, he chose the milk. He said, this is your fitrah and the fitrah of your nation. You are people that are on fitrah. Then I was raised to a level where I could hear the pens writing. You know when you're writing? You know that noise that the pen makes? I could hear many pens writing. They're writing our deeds, and they're writing everything. The leaves that fall, the raindrops, everything. Then he begins to talk to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded him with 50 prayers, 50. That he was to pray 50 times and that we are to pray 50 times. He was given that command, and then he goes back down. Now there is a story about, he said, At-tahiyyatu lillah, was-salatu was-salam, and then, Assalamu alaikum ayyuhan nabiy wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. There's no authentic at all narration about this. So he went back down. On the way to the 6th heaven, he saw Musa. Musa stopped him. He said, what did your Lord command you with? He said, 50 prayers. He said, your people will never be able to do it. I tried with my people. It wasn't that much, but I tried with my people. They failed. Go back up and ask him to make it less. So the Prophet said, I went back up to Allah and I asked him to make it less, and he took away 10. Now he has 40. He goes back down. Musa stops him. What did your Lord command? He said he reduced 10. He said, my people couldn't, they're going to fail. I tried, they're not going to do it. He went back up. Ya Allah, decrease it. This happened until it was 10. Just 10 from 50. He went back. Musa said, my people, they failed. Your people will fail. Go back up. The Prophet went back up. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said 5. And then he went back down. And Musa said, your people won't be able to handle it. My people couldn't handle it. Yeah. And the Prophet ﷺ, he said, I kept asking Allah until now I feel too embarrassed to ask him. I can't go back up and ask him. Yeah, I thought so. And I am content. I'm happy with this. Yeah. Then he heard a voice saying, I have relieved my slaves. There are 5 and they are 50. There are 5 prayers, but they're worth 50. So 5 in action, but 50 in reward. Al-hasanatu bi'ashra. Yeah, the good is worth 10. Now notice the voice came when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said when the Prophet Muhammad said, Radit, I am content. Look at the love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has for Muhammad. Yeah. When he said that, he said, then it is as it is. Had the Prophet asked for more, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would give him. Now, on his journey, the Prophet ﷺ, he saw heaven and he saw hell. He said, I saw in heaven a river. On the banks of the river, the banks are made of pearls, clusters of pearls, pearls upon pearls upon pearls, and the whole bank, the banks in its entirety are like that. And the straw, the grass, these things, they're pearls, they're little pearls lying about. And the Prophet ﷺ, he said, whose is this? He said, this is your Kawthar. This is your Kawthar. This is for you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has hidden it and kept it safe for you. I touched its soil, the Prophet said, I touched its soil, and it smelled of beautiful, beautiful musk. In hell, he saw people whose nails were made of brass. Brass, yeah, the doorknobs are made of, the old ones, not the plastic ones. And he saw that people were scratching their faces and their chests. And he asked Jibreel, who is this? He said, these are the people who backbite and who talk bad and say bad things about others. And then again, he saw people whose lips were burning and being pulled. He said, who are those? He said, those are the ones who give talks and remind other people of Allah's rules, but they don't follow it themselves. They said they're commanding, bossing everyone else about, but they don't do anything. They're pathetic themselves. They don't follow. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they have a special punishment. Now, that's the Mi'raj and the Isra and the Mi'raj. What led to this? What led to this? So this happened around the 10th year of Hijrah. And Ba'tha, sorry. Ba'tha, yes, 10th year of Ba'tha. Jazakallah khair, Allah barak feek. So 10 years after the Prophet ﷺ became a prophet. So he's 50 years old now. He's 40 when he got the Ba'tha, and now 10 years later. And this is 3 years after they left the siege. But that siege had a really big impact on the health of his uncle, Abu Talib, and on his wife, who both died. So Abu Talib passes away, and Quraysh now see that the protector of Muhammad ﷺ passes away, so they start being very rude and beating him and insulting him. And then 3 days later, some people, some of us, the sources say a month and 5 days, a very short time later, anyway, Khadija passes away. So his uncle and his wife, who supported him and who financed his coming and his going, pass away. And then the disbelievers begin to harm him very much. So he left to go to Ta'if, and he stayed there for 10 days. And he said to them, please, 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 whether you accept me or reject me, don't tell my people in Quraysh, because they will make my life harder. They did, of course. But he stayed with them, and he gave them da'wah and tried to convert them. They didn't want it. And then they set the slaves and the poor people and the dirty people and the beggars and the lowlifes, the wasters, to chase after the Prophet ﷺ, to insult him, to throw rocks and sticks on him. And he was bleeding, and his slipper stuck to his feet. And when Aisha asked him what day was harder for you than Uhud, he said, this day. He didn't even realize what was happening. He left, and he kept walking him and the Sahabi with him. And he didn't know until he completely left the area, the vicinity. He didn't know. He wasn't there. It was very hard. So he sat down, and then he made this dua. O Allah, to you I complain of my weakness and my lack of resources, and my belittlement and humiliation between the people, or before the people. O most merciful of the merciful, you are the Lord of the oppressed. You are my Lord. To whom will you give dominion over me? Who will you give power over me so that they can harm me in this way? To someone who's far away, who's not a relative, who receives me with hostility, or to an enemy to whom you have given authority over my affairs. If you are not angry with me, then I don't care. Whatever happens to me, it doesn't matter, so long as Allah, you're not angry with me. But your protection is more expansive for me. Yeah? This is the same type of dua that Ayub made when he was a leper, and his skin was falling apart, and he didn't say anything. He was very happy. Once a worm that was eating his skin fell off. He picked it up and he put it back. He said, "This is your food." Yeah, he was very content. But then one day he said, "Ya Allah, your mercy is more expansive for me." And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala cured him. Yeah. Nothing a prophet ever did that was good except the Prophet ﷺ did it and more. So he said, your mercy is more expansive for me. I seek refuge in the light of your face by which darkness is illuminated, and the affairs of this world and the hereafter are set right, from your anger descending upon me or your displeasure befalling me. To you belongs all acceptance until you are pleased. I will accept whatever happens until you're pleased. And there is no power or strength except from you. So what happened? The Prophet ﷺ, he is the messenger of Allah. His job is to guide people to Islam. His job is not to force them. His job is to show them, here, come. And if they come, they come. If they don't, they come. They don't. His job is to do what he can do with the laws of physics, the laws of chemistry, the laws of economics, the laws of sociology, etc. Be nice to people, speak to them this way, that way, left, right, up, down. This is his job. Allah is the one who guides. But the Prophet Muhammad does what he can. He did what he can. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala took away Abu Talib. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala took away Khadija. He took away some of his resources. He went elsewhere to find other resources, Ta'if. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala never opened this door for him. So he comes back. And he makes this dua. And then everything begins to change. And then everything begins to change. He got to a place called Batn Nakhla, which is in between Mecca and Ta'if. And he prayed 2 rak'ahs. And the jinn heard him. And the jinn accepted Islam. Look, he's going to call the humans, and the humans are turning away from him. Turning away from the man that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves, the best of creation. And the jinn come to him by accident and accept. So this is the first response to his prayer. The first response to his prayer. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is making things easy for him. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent Jibreel. And Jibreel said, Allah is sending you the angel of the mountains. And to do whatever you wish. The angel of the mountains, he said, Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Ya Rasulullah. Allah has commanded me to do whatever you want. And I can take Al-Akhshabain, which is the 2 mountains on either side of Ta'if, and topple them, so that they fall on Ta'if and they will all be destroyed, a thing of the past. He said, no. What I want is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes their offspring, their children and the children of their children, Muslims and believers that do not do shirk to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yeah. Now what does this remind you of? Nuh. Except that Nuh, he prayed, Ya Allah, these people are now all wasters. None of them will ever believe. So take them all. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala took them all. But now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is coming and sending his angels to tell him, do you want me to destroy them? And he says no. Yeah. So the same thing, Allah would have destroyed this whole thing for him if he wanted to. The same as with Nuh, but Prophet Muhammad is of a higher status. وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ إِلَّا رَحْمَةً. We did not send you except as mercy. إِلَّا رَحْمَةَ الْعَالَمِينَ. And then there was I can't remember the name, Adi, I believe, or I can't remember the name. He saw him. He was a servant to someone, and he saw that the Prophet ﷺ looked so tired and exhausted and beaten, and he came with some food, and he gave it to him, and the Prophet ﷺ said, Bismillah. He said, Bismillah, what is this? Who told you this? He goes, no one told me this. I am the messenger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He kissed his head, kissed his hand, kissed his feet. And he said, we say this. I think he was from Iraq and from the people of Idris. He said, we say this, and we got it from Yunus or Idris. Yunus, sorry. And we got it from Prophet Yunus, Iraq. So again, all of these, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is now showing, look, everything, the door was closed before, everything was dark, everything was black, there was no way out, and now slowly, these things are changing. Then he asked people for protection to enter Mecca. The first one he rejected. He asked the second one, he rejected. Third one he rejected. The fourth one he accepted. Al-Mut'im ibn Adi. And he told his children, get your armor on, wear your armor. And he told his nephews, wear your armor. Today we are protecting Muhammad. And then Quraysh stood back. He has someone to protect him. We're not going to go to war. And then Isra and Mi'raj happens. He's asleep, and Jibreel comes and washes his heart. He returns from all of this. He returns and he says, I returned and my bed was still warm. I returned and my bed was still warm. Yeah. In the morning, he told the people of Al-Isra. He didn't tell the non-believers about Al-Mi'raj. He told them just about Al-Isra. And they had a field trip. To them it was like, he's lost his mind. Yeah, he's lost the plot. So, in one narration, Abu Jahl saw him, and he heard that he was saying these things. So he went and he sat down with him. He goes, you look upset. What's wrong? Yeah, and he said, the people are calling me a liar. He said, why are they calling you a liar for? He said, I went to Masjid al-Aqsa and I came back. He said, you went to Masjid al-Aqsa and you came back? He said, yeah. He goes, okay. Are you sure? He said, yeah. He goes, do you mind if I bring other people to hear what you're saying? He said, no. Now he didn't call him a liar, because if he called him a liar, he was afraid that then he would change the story when the people come. Yeah? So he was playing like he cares to bring the people who come. Look at this madman, he's lost it now. Yeah? He's saying that he went to Masjid al-Aqsa and he came back in one night. Who does this? How is this possible? So then the people started making fun of him. And then many of the people would go there for journeys. They would go there and they would go to Persia. So they started asking him, okay, tell us, what does Al-Aqsa look like? And the Prophet ﷺ began to tell them. And then because of the pressure and the situation, he started to fumble with his words a little bit. And then he said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala Jalla, He showed me Al-Aqsa right there in front of me, and every time they asked the question, like a hologram, every time they asked the question about something, it would turn and I would see the thing that they were talking, I would describe it exactly as he said. And he kept describing, and then the people said, look, I don't know if he's lying or not, but what he's saying is accurate. Look at the disbelief. Yeah. It's not, oh, he must be telling the truth. It's like, I don't know how he's doing it. Yeah, but he's telling the truth. This is how pathetic this belief is. It's got nothing to do with brains. It's got to do with the heart and the chest. Are you open to the truth? Are you open to the truth or not? And then they took it as an opportunity. Now we're going to go to Abu Bakr and we're going to tell him, look what your friend is saying. Abu Bakr hadn't known anything, and he's in his house. So they knock on him, what happened? Have you heard what your friend is saying? What did he say? He said that he went to Al-Aqsa and he came back in the same night, and he came back and his bed was still warm. He said, did he say this? They said, this is what he said. He said, then I believe him. He said, you believe him? He said, look, I believe him that Allah is speaking to him. I believe him that the angels come to him. I believe him that there's a day of judgment and that we will go to heaven or go to hell. What I believe him about is so big that me going to Al-Aqsa Mosque in a minute or a split second, what are you talking about? Yeah. Imagine right now that you meet someone a nomad that doesn't know anything about anything, and you show him your iPhone, and you convince him that there's no jinn inside of it. This is just something. And then someone comes and he believes you. And then someone comes and he says, oh, they make cold water. He says he has cold water. He's going to say, I believe he has an iPhone. Like, what are you telling me about? Cold water, what's the problem? So this is our belief with the Prophet ﷺ. This is our belief with the Prophet ﷺ. Now, can you imagine how low you have to be at the time of the Prophet ﷺ, to see his face, to see the light emanating from his soul, and not to believe in him? Can you imagine? Can you imagine how low you must be to be his uncle and to fight against him? Can you imagine how low you must be when everyone is accepting Islam and you're still holding on to your arrogance? Yeah. This is how it is. Even with Ibrahim, same thing happened. وَإِقَنَتَهَا, you know, they were 100% sure. No, it was the big idol that killed them. Big guy can't do anything. Oh, he must be right. Idols are useless. But then suddenly, no. We're thinking, don't think. Yeah. Back to kufr. So this is the Prophet ﷺ. No one is greater than the Prophet ﷺ. No one. Idris was lifted to the fourth heaven in life, but then he died there. The Prophet ﷺ was lifted to beyond the heavens, and he came back alive. Isa had miracles, so did Muhammad ﷺ. Once a meal, he was invited to a meal when the times were very, very hard. And he was invited to a meal, and his wife said, just get the Prophet ﷺ, we don't have any more food. And the Prophet ﷺ, how much do you have for? He goes, just you, Ya Rasulullah. He started invited everyone. The man said, look, you start feeling embarrassed. What am I going to say to everyone? But the Prophet ﷺ, the food kept coming and coming and coming. So the miracle that Isa had, the Prophet ﷺ had similar to it. Noah, I already explained. Noah, he built a ship to save the handful of believers from the flood. Muhammad's Sharia saved the entire humanity. Musa guided his people, and his people misguide humanity. The Prophet ﷺ, he guided his people, and his people guide humanity. Nothing that anyone did can be compared with the Prophet ﷺ. And when the Prophet ﷺ reached Sidrat al-Muntaha, that was it. He couldn't go. Jibreel, yeah, كان قاب قوسين أو أدنى. Jibreel, who's massive, thousands and thousands of wings, massive. When the Prophet saw him the first time, he was bigger than the mountains. Massive. Wherever he looked, he was there. His eyes couldn't see anything but Jibreel. Jibreel came down to something very, very small. He said, I cannot go past this tree, or else I will burn. Nothing went past this except for the Prophet ﷺ. This is a messenger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So first of all, the personal lesson. The personal lesson, brothers and sisters, if the Prophet ﷺ did it, tell yourself to shut up and do it. Don't think. Don't try and convince yourself. Don't try and logic yourself in or out of anything. If the Prophet ﷺ did it, do it. If the Prophet ﷺ had a beard that was trailing behind him 10 meters, have a beard that was trailing behind him. He didn't. But if he had that, if Prophet ﷺ would walk on his head, walk on your head. If the Prophet ﷺ did something, do it. Don't be arrogant. This is the man who did everything so that you can have this deen. And so that I can have this deen. And you say, Ummati, 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 Ummati. My nation, look how Musa cried when his nation would be beaten by Muhammad ﷺ's nation. Prophet ﷺ said, Ummati, 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 Ummati. Whatever he does, you do it. If he prays sunnah, pray sunnah. Don't think about it. If he never missed the sunnah before Fajr, don't miss the sunnah before Fajr. If he never missed witr, don't miss witr. If he was smiling always, always smile. If he had good character, always have good character. If you see that he did something, copy it blind. The way that idiots copy Beyonce, the way that idiots copy Ronaldo or Messi, you copy the Prophet ﷺ. They don't think, and we don't think. This is the Prophet ﷺ. Now if you want to think to increase your love and respect and honor of him, then do so. But if you think that you have to understand what he did in order to do it, this alone is proof that you're not smart, or that I'm not smart. If the best of creation has come with something and you need to convince yourself, it means there's something wrong with you. It means there's something wrong with you. You're right to say, did he do it or not? Prove to me that he did it. This is your right. But if you find that he's done something and you're not doing it, this is not your right. This is not your right. And it is from the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that the sunnah is sunnah, that we're not sinning if we don't do it. Though we are sinning if we go out of our way not to do any sunnah ever. This is a sin. So this is the importance of the sunnah. Is that this is, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent the best of the best of the best. The best of the best. And there are some things, brothers and sisters, that are passive. Passive. They're passive. You get rewarded passively. If you have a beard and it's the sunnah, what do you do for your beard? What are you doing for your beard? It's not like prayer, I have to get up and go down. You let your beard go. What are you doing? But you're doing it for the sunnah, you get rewarded passively. Passively. Zero effort. Zero effort. Yeah? If the Prophet ﷺ said other things for women or for men, hijab, khalas, you put it on, after that it's passive. It's passive. What is more proactive? Putting tons of makeup on or wearing a hijab and leaving? What is more effort? The hijab. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not want difficulty for us. And His Prophet was not sent except as a mercy to us. Except as a mercy to us. This is the personal lesson. The political or lesson at the ummah level is that we are the custodians of this earth. The Muslims are the custodians of this earth. وَكَذَلِكَ جَعَلْنَاكُمْ أُمَّةً وَسَطًا. And in this way we have created you to be the middle nation. Middle means that you're holding the balance. You are the judges. And we will be the witnesses. We will be the jury on the Day of Judgment against humanity. And the Prophet ﷺ will be the jury against us and humanity. Or for us and for humanity. So we do not shy away from this. We should not shy away from this. The propaganda, the movies, they all make you feel that if you're a Muslim, you should feel a little bit embarrassed. I don't want to pray in public. Pray in public. Pray in public just because it annoys them. If for nothing else. Because you are a Muslim. Pray in public. Maybe one person will see your stillness in the midst of chaos and they'll become a Muslim just because of this. We are not to feel this inferior thing. This is just propaganda. It's the same propaganda that says that the American soldier is stronger than any other soldier. But they lost in Somalia. They lost in Afghanistan. They lost in Iraq. They lost in Vietnam. Where did they win? Where did they win? Where's G.I. Joe? Where's Jason Bourne? Where was he when the Somalis were pulling them from their feet and their faces were on the ground? Where were they? This is just propaganda. And to be a Muslim is not to be an Arab, not to be a Pakistani. Anyone can be a Muslim. Anyone. This is not a racist thing. This is not a class thing. Anyone. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم. If anyone has any questions or any comments, inshallah. Okay, inshallah, let's wrap up. Allah barak fikum. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive the ummah of His most beloved. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide the ummah of His most beloved. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reunite us with His most beloved. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala not shield us or distance us from His most beloved. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala not give us the grief of never meeting the Prophet ﷺ in Jannah. وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام.
جزاكم الله خيرا. جزاكم الله خيرا جميعا على حسن الاستماع. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد ان لا اله الا انت نستغفرك ونتوب اليك. السلام عليكم ورحمه الله وبركاته.
السلام عليكم.
عليكم السلام.